home is the center, it's the heart of life. If you're able to make an impact in where you live and where you put your heart and where you put your family and where you lay your head at night, if you can change the way people think about their physical home, you have the opportunity to change the way people think about how they live sustainably.
I feel very concerned. Over the last 50 years, our population has doubled in one generation. We use 3 times as much food and water. We consume 4 times as much fossil fuels over the last 50 years, same period of time. The influx of new people into this city is not going to stop. And my response as a home builder is Green Canopy.
What I like best about working for Green Canopy is it's a company that I feel inspired working for. Inspired about the company's mission and how we work together to work towards that mission.
I love the people that I get to work with, the projects that I get to work on, and an opportunity to live out what I'm good at with my values.
The company's made me feel very welcome in a number of ways. There's something that we do on a monthly basis called shout-outs. I've received a couple of shout-outs, which is encouraging. It's nice to know that, it's nice to be recognized and realize that they appreciate the work you're doing.
During our monthly leadership trainings, we develop this shared language that we then use in our day-to-day conversations with each other and with external stakeholders. And that's what I notice, especially in the office, is people using that shared language to check for understanding, and checking their ego at the front of the conversation and just really being open and honest with each other about what's going on.
Healthy relationships internally and externally, they feed directly into productivity. They allow us to be more productive as a team inward facing, and it allows us to be more productive outward facing as we work with our subcontractors. They could change the locks on me tomorrow and every single minute I've spent here would be the most valuable work experience that I've ever had.
We're able to be vulnerable. If there's something that you don't know or a problem you're having, you can always reach out to anyone else in the company, whether they're higher up or lower than you, and they'll help you solve the problem efficiently and quickly rather than trying to just solve it on your own. And normally if you don't know what you're doing, you don't really want to tell anyone who's above you because then it makes you look bad, but here it's welcomed. It shows that you're always willing to learn and adapt.
I believe this really the secret sauce in Green Canopy's success originates, and I've thought about this a lot, really from the beginning and identified it, is their culture. There really is a culture of trust and support and accountability. It makes a really positive environment for people to do their best. So that, and the leadership, Aaron and the founders did this, I think, both consciously and intuitively right from the beginning. And that has given it a really good foundation to deal with the highs and lows of a startup, which are inevitable.
It's not uncommon for groups to review their mission and vision, but there's a difference between coming together and redefining those values every year to be things that people will behave and live into, not just lovely words that then often are forgotten.
The cultural review process is something we do twice a year. We review each other on the values that we talk about at the top of each year at our Mission Vision Values retreat. Once we compile the cultural review data, we send that out to managers of each department, and they have a meeting with their whole team. We call them coaching sessions, where everyone shares the feedback they received. The manager shares their feedback typically first, and then their group provides input on how their manager can continue to improve.
The structure was created for me to excel, and the pathway was opened up. I was never in a position where I was fixed. I was always being challenged and allowed to move beyond my comfort zone, oftentimes being pushed outside of my comfort zone, and then being supported while I was there, so I had the opportunity to excel. And then when that was recognized, I was given more responsibility.
They want feedback. They're able to give feedback. They're able to be in conversations that are difficult, and they know that and they feel relatively safe doing that, and that we don't see that happening other places.
Oh, they're the best. I mean, we work with many different developers and builders in and around the city, and they are incredibly easy to work with. Just look around the city, and you see all these new homes being built. A majority of them hide behind some random LLC. But with Green Canopy, you have a brand, you have a positive influence with the community. They reach out to the neighborhood and have a neighborhood meeting. I don't know any builder or developer out there that would ever do such a thing, but it's rewarded them handsomely.
I think Green Canopy can scale because we have the systems that allow for growth and scale, so that we can plug in new people to an existing process, and they can join right in and have the tools and the systems that allow them to add value right away, so that we're not relying just on good people, but using good process married with good people to get to that next stage of growth.
I've seen Green Canopy grow since my involvement 8 years ago, wonderfully. I mean, it's grown as a community of people that are really dedicated to the mission, and that's allowed them to take what really is a competitive and difficult industry. It's those people and the systems they've created has allowed them, with their sustainability mission, allows them to make a really, build a really strong brand in the marketplace.
So when people associate the Green Canopy brand with B Corp certification, they understand what's at the core of our business, because becoming certified is a tough process, and you have to have programs, policies in place that are in line with that triple bottom line.
A lot of the customers that are coming through Green Canopy open houses, they know about Green Canopy. So they've been following the project, or maybe they know somebody who's purchased a Green Canopy home, and they're there already with a mission to see if that's going to work for them, rather than just kind of going down the street and trying to find a new house to go into. Their intention is to want to be in a Green Canopy home.
I would posit that Green Canopy, is at sort of the top of the list of companies that that I've evaluated and been involved with as an investor, in terms of the intentionality, the metrics that have been laid out, and then the ongoing reporting, of that. And I would also say, it compares to much bigger companies in terms of the quality, the thought, the work that goes into it, because it's embedded in the DNA of the company. They really are authentic in wanting to achieve these metrics and measure them and demonstrate to investors and other kind of community stakeholders that they're doing what they set out to do.
When we think about the impact we want to make, it's not just about the homes, it's about being relevant in the conversation for how we live as a world in a more sustainable way.